All right. For the audience that does not know you, feel free to introduce yourself.
What's up? I am Dawson Gibbs, and I pretty much do content creation and run a couple businesses. I run a marketing agency and then also a fitness coaching brand. I post daily content on all platforms on social media. I love helping people and I love giving value to people on social media.
So talk to me a little bit more about how you got started and why you do it. I watched some of your videos. I knew you did a Q&A on this, but I was more curious. Like, I just want for the audience that has not seen the video, where are you from? How old are you, and what got you into this?
Cool. Yeah, so I am 23. I'm about to turn 24. And pretty much I'm from a small town in Georgia. Badia, Georgia has about like 10,000 people in it. But I'm moving out of there for more opportunities and kind of just to learn more about myself. And started social media and then also, entrepreneurship and then also going to the gym when I was around 16 and just had a mission to make my dreams a reality and gained pretty much in the last year about 200,000 followers on all platforms, especially on my Instagram. And in the last 6 months to 8 months, I have pretty much built a $1 million business in a sense. So it's happening very fast, but it took me about 8 years to get here.
Average overnight success takes about a decade.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's usually how
Uh,
it goes.
yeah. So, with that being said, you started when you were about 16 and you started recently blowing up. What does like a day in the life look like for Dawson Gibbs?
To be pretty honest, it is about me and my employees. We would pretty much wake up around 6:30ish in the morning, and we will drink some coffee, just chill out for a little bit, and then we'll go on a outside walk. And after we get on the outside walk, we'll start probably work around 8 a.m. And from 8 to about 12, kind of doing a little bit of everything because I am the CEO. So I pretty much are on pretty about 10 phone calls a day for different opportunities, different sales calls, different checking up with clients that we are working with, as in companies for the marketing agency, and really just giving an agenda for the day for my team. And then at 12, like to 2 o'clock, I am going to the gym and getting in my workout. And then after two, I'll get back from like 2 to 8 p.m. is usually like more phone calls, more doing the back end of stuff for all the businesses. And yeah, it's pretty much. And then at that time, I'll around like 7 to 8 p.m. I'll kind of just chill out and watch a movie with my girlfriend or something.
So, another question is, when you were talking about before, when you started getting to work out when you were like 16, right?
Yeah.
Some people are just naturally very fit, right? And you said that you started to work out when you were 16, so I'm assuming that you were not naturally fit. Were you skinny as a kid, fat? Like, what was that sort of catalyst to get you to work out?
Um, I would say that when I was 16, the years before that, I pretty much the only thing I did was just play video games 24/7 and didn't really have any type of. I had an ambition to do something in life and not have a normal 9 to 5, but more so, I just wanted to be not normal, as in, like, society wants you to do is go to college, have 9 to 5, get into a bunch of debt, have a miserable life, which, 9 to 5s is not for everyone, but it is for some people. But before that, what got me to, get fitter and go to the gym was pretty much just, wasn't the confidence, didn't have confidence, didn't have that self-belief in myself. Kind of got made fun of in middle school. So kind of always had that on my back burner for going into high school. And wasn't really healthy, playing video games all day and eating jalapeno chips 24/7, right? So you kind of realize that, look, if you want to be different, you have to look different to a certain extent. And I knew that if I started working out, everything else would be better. And it did.
So talk to me a little bit more about your childhood, because that's interesting. So it's a typical story of you grow up fat and then you start working out, right? And then you become fit, right?
Yeah.
So, when you're talking about playing video games 24/7, your entire life. So that also leads me to the next question of when it comes to like dating and girls and like friends and your social life, right? I'm sure I don't know if you did, but I would assume you also had friends on video games. Am I correct in
Yeah,
saying that? Yeah.
for sure.
But when it comes to real life friends, real life social life, I'm guessing it was lacking.
Yeah, well, yeah, before that, I mean, I've never really been like a guy that wanted to like go party and like hang out with a bunch of friends and do all that stuff. Even before like, entrepreneurship and really trying to focus on myself. Even before that, like, just wasn't really the biggest like hangout type of guy that wanted to go and hang out with tons of people. I kind of always to myself, and of course, I had friends on Xbox and PlayStation, all the good stuff, right? And could connect with them through video games. But even after, you know, starting this journey of entrepreneurship and fitness, I realized that, look, if I want to be the top 1% and not be like everyone else, I can't hang around with people that are not in the same uh, mindset that I'm trying to achieve, right? So, if I'm trying to, you know, get fitter. I can't be hanging around with people that don't want to go to the gym. Because eventually that will make me not want to go to the gym. If I want to become successful, I can't hang around with people that don't have a disciplined mindset or not motivated to get, to that next level of life. So there was, certain opportunities where I could have gone party and hang out with a bunch of people, but I chose to go to the gym or work on, late night stuff with my company. And so there is like, there's choices that everyone has. You'll have both choices where you can make either that will get you to that next level of life or will keep you the same. And it just depends on how bad you want it.
I mean, like even just from a social media perspective, it's kind of crazy to see your growth because, I mean, you have a pretty stacked mutual followers
Yeah.
when it comes to your list. Like I saw like Hamza follows you. I'm looking at it right now. Um,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Lucas Pachter, who I was actually recommended to interview at one point.
Heck yeah.
Vince Aziz, who's like the typical like what I'm trying to describe what he does because it's funny.
What who is it?
Vince Aziz or Vince Sylvester. He
Oh
eats
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
a bunch of like raw meat, like and then you got like
Yeah.
Power of Rome. Servant Nico is one that also stood out. But talk to me like about some of those people, if you can speak to it at all.
Yeah. Look, I have a lot of people that I have connections with. I have from app developers to business entrepreneurs that make millions of dollars a year, from health gurus to, fitness guys that are in the bodybuilding industry or fitness guys that, just are, killers in the gym. And there's a bunch of people that I like doing business with because they are good people. Usually, I don't surround myself with, well, it's not usually, I just don't surround myself with people that are in the same area or the same type of mindset that I am, because it only makes you be lesser than. So, Lucas is a great guy. I love his company, Squid Hoss. I'm pretty much like a sponsored athlete with them. And I only do, Blake Anderson. He's made millions of dollars off of his apps, Kalia, UMax, Riz GPT, which is now Plug AI. Shout out to them. And I just went out to San Diego with Blake Anderson. He is a good guy. He's building up Apex right now. Lucas, I'm about to go out and hang out with him in Austin. Santa Cruz, Brandon, he's from San Diego. I haven't met him in person, but we've kind of chatted back and forth. I love his company. Santa Cruz Paleo, shout out to him. And I just like doing things with people that I actually like their product or like them as a person. They're good, genuine dudes that I might not even met them in person yet, but just over text, over phone call, um, they have the right mission in their mindset. So,
Well, how does your networking kind of look like, right? Because a lot of people, when it comes to networking, they don't really know where to start. So, did those people reach out to you? Like, did Hamza, for example, reach out to you? Did you reach out to him? Did you like with all these people? Is it like both ways? Is it how does it work? Like, how are you getting in contact with some of these people going from zero? Because a lot of
Yeah.
people, I think, kind of struggle with that. Like they don't know where to look.
Yeah. So, I mean, number one is building your own personal brand first, right? Um, at the end of the day, right? None of these guys would associate with me, and I wouldn't associate with them if they didn't have a personal brand so that I could understand that, look, these guys are genuine. These guys have a following because of some reason. What is their message behind that? Now, if they were goofy people or like people that had a bad message and they still had followers, I wouldn't mess with them, right? But because they do have a good personal brand, and they have a good mission and a good mindset behind that following and that brand, then they're more reputable, credible people. So connection wise, network wise, one, I wouldn't be where I am if I didn't have the following that I had, right? That's a good stepping stone, good credibility to why does this guy have this many followers, this many engagements? What is his mission? Is he a good person or is he a bad person? And then once you kind of figure out that, the networking could be, first, of course, like I said, building your personal brand to a certain standpoint in the credibility space. Once you have that, the networking where you can reach out to DMs or you message back and forth, and then you hop on a call and be like, look, let's do some business together, or what is the ways that we can help each other, or you might have a connection with someone, and then they have connections with 10 other people that have the same type of mindset or same type of for example, like my marketing agency, right? We're the number one marketing agency for apps. So when an app developer, right, that are building 3 different types of apps, they want to do business with my company, that app developer might have connections with another app developer. And then that app developer might have connections with 5 other different apps. So just like companies, and you're building your company and you have all these connections, just like networking with different guys in the space, it just comes from building your personal brand, being credible, being a good guy, and then reaching out, or they might reach out back to you.
What do you when you're talking about growth? Because that's been like the topic overall, right? Is like growth and kind of your journey. So, what do you think, or what do you consider as of right now to be your greatest accomplishment?
Mm, greatest accomplishment, I would say, just being able to support my family. Like really, when I say that is, I don't have to. My girlfriend right now, she's living with me, because the hurricanes kind of swapped her, like flooded her house. So she was pretty much homeless. So she moved to Jacksonville, Florida, where I'm at, and now she's living with me. And because of my success from building my company and my personal brand, she doesn't. One, she's not homeless. She can live with me, and then two, I support her in every way so that she can be the woman that she needs to be. Also, like I hired my best friends into the company. I'm hiring my 2 brothers into the company. And then down the road, I can, help my parents and retire them. So I would say my biggest accomplishment is building my personal brand, and learning the skills to build a business off that brand. And then now that business can support my lifestyle, but more importantly, I can help and support my loved ones, which is my business company. A biggest accomplishment for sure.
Where do you kind of see yourself in the next 5 years?
5 years. Usually, I could say the most important thing is what am I going to do next year, right? Because I think a lot of people, they want to it's good to dream, right? But it's also better to understand what you have to for the next day and what you're doing in the present. But I can give you some type of understanding, be married, have a beautiful family, have beautiful kids, take care of my family, support them fully, as in my parents, retire them, and just have a beautiful and prosperous kind of life. Really, I don't really care about numbers. I don't really care about money. I just know that if I better myself to help other people, everything else will come together. It always has, it always will be, and just help other people as much as I can, and sacrifice my, I guess, my joy and my happiness for other people's benefit. Which you get more happiness and joy when you give and serve to other people. So it's a win-win. But I would say my 2025 goals is to build my companies, is to become physically better, healthy, and get married and live in. I'm like a condo now, so maybe in a house. And there's some like supercars that I want, so I'll probably get that next year.
People tend to underestimate what they can do in a year and overestimate what they can do in 10 years.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly. Tell everyone every single time. I mentor a lot of people that want to start businesses or grow their social media, and they're complaining to me why they're not going viral in the first 2 weeks of them posting. And I tell them it took me 8 years posting on social media. It took me 1,500 posts to get one video to go viral. It took me 8 years to do that. And I had 1,500 posts on my Instagram before anyone saw, before I saw 10,000 plus views on a video. I like for real. I mean, everyone can like just scroll down on my Instagram feed and see the tons of videos that I had that had, not lying, some videos had 30 views, some videos had 300 views for 4 years straight, and I kept going, kept pushing it to where I am now.
Well, what did your headspace look like when you're failing? Because most people, when they're failing, struggle with the rationale, and the rationale is usually perfect, which is the problem. Which is, this isn't getting me results. Why do I even try? I'm gonna go do nothing, or I'm gonna go do something else. I'm gonna do something that's more fun because at least I'll have some temporary form of happiness because they don't see the results, and their logic is sound. So what was your rationale when you're saying, 30 views, 300 views for however many years on end? Obviously a lot of people get very discouraged from that. So why did you continue? What made you say this is a goal that can actually work?
Yep. So if you're always basing what you do off of logic and emotions, you will always become and stay average. Because if I looked at the logic for 4 years straight of getting only 300 views and not knowing what to do, the logic thing is to say this ain't working. I got to do something else. If I would have went off emotions when I got sad or I got disappointed, and I fell into those emotions, I would have quit and did something else. But going off your gut and going off of your faith, as in stepping out and keep doing it, and eventually it will happen if I do not quit. That's really the simplest thing I could say. If you don't quit, you have a chance. But if you do quit, you will regret it for the rest of your life. So when you are 80 years old and you don't have any more years to take a chance at this thing called life, because we only have one chance, you're done for. Like, you're going to have regret. You're going to have a miserable couple of years of your life because you were too scared to take a chance on the one game that you have one chance to do it, and you were scared of other people's opinions, or you couldn't go through the obstacles and challenges, or whatever it was. What really helped me was starting the gym and starting doing something hard when I was younger. So 15, 16, get into the gym, building the four main skills of work ethic, being consistent, delayed gratification, and patience. Right? With delayed gratifications and patience, when I did have those 4-5 years of absolutely nothing going on, 6 years of nothing going on, 7 years of nothing going on. I mean, you just keep doing it, and you realize that building yourself up as a person, learning the communication skills, the confidence skills, the self-belief in yourself, building those assets that you can benefit on social media and businesses on. When you build yourself up, eventually, over time, it will happen if you do not quit.
Where do you think that most people fail?
By not being consistent. I mean, it's really it. I wish I could, like, there was a magic pill or a magic saying that I could say, but it really comes down to day in, day out. Even if you can't give 110% or 100% every single day, you still put in what you can put in. Not every day is going to be great. Not every day is going to be beautiful and rainbows. If you can only put 60% in one day, then put it in. You can put 100% in every day, then you put it in, or each day. But it's about showing up and putting what you can put in every single day, so that eventually, over time, it compounds to where it happens. And it might take 2, 4, 14, 1,400 years. It just depends on how much you progress and how much percentage of lives that you're willing to put in every single day to better yourself, so that you understand how to do everything. You don't know what you're doing wrong unless you do enough of it to understand what you're doing right. Right. So you have to fail enough, right? You have to have enough failures in your life to, like, look, I have so many failures in life, right? And the failure doesn't mean like, you went homeless, or you're just a drop dead guy. It just means that, look, you have so many failures to where the only thing now you have is a level of failures at the bottom that you know not to go down to anymore, to where you now know only thing about now moving forward is to succeed, because you've already failed in every single part. I've had so many failures to where, like, I know exactly what not to do. That's why I know what to do now.
Where do you think that a lot of I'm gonna try and like
Yeah.
rephrase what I was thinking. Um, coming from your position where were this kid that just struggled and just couldn't get himself out of his house and into, the gym or whatever, and then you finally started working out, right? What advice do you have for the guy who is too lazy or too low energy, has every excuse in the book, kind of like yourself at one point, and just can't seem to really try, and he knows better, and he knows
Mm.
better, and he knows he wants to try, but it's always something. What
Mm.
advice do you have for that person?
I would say, look, and this might sound harsh, but not everyone is made to be. Well, no, let me rephrase that. Um, Depending on how you were raised and what you actually believe in, will determine how much hard work you have, what your ethic is, your morals and values. I just knew that there was something inside of me that, like, knew I was greater for than just a normal 9 to 5. I knew that I was made for more, to help more people. And you have to sit down, look in the mirror, and figure out what's going on and what you need to fix. A lot of people don't have the humility to look in the mirror and realize that, look, I have this amount of weaknesses that I need to make into strengths. But the only way for me to do that is to do hard things. So, whenever you're worrying about motivation, you need to be worrying about doing it no matter what, so you can build that discipline, so that when you don't have any more motivation, you fall back on discipline. But the only way to have discipline is to do the things you don't want to do on a daily basis that will eventually make you better. So, if you're lazy, if you're unmotivated, cool. Everyone is like that. You have to realize that, if you're in the USA or you're in a first world country, you are the top 1% of this world, or however percentage is, right? There's people in Africa that have no water, no food, that have no shelter, walking around on their bare feet, that are happier than you, that are more working harder than you, and you're using you being in a better position as an excuse, which makes no sense to me. There's people that can't work out because they have no arms, or they have cancer, or whatever it is, that still work out, but you are a full able-bodied person, especially a man, and you're too lazy to work out because you have no work ethic and you're not willing to put the work in. You just have to look in the mirror, realize what you're doing wrong, get it together, get around people that are motivated and are disciplined. Stop hanging out with bums. Stop hanging out with your parents that have no success. Stop listening to people that have nothing going on in their life. It might be your parents, your brother, your friends. You have to start putting yourself into better environments, better people, looking and watching better things to better yourself, getting to better environments, as going into the gym, eating better, going on walks, learning more skills about how you can better yourself.
What do you think your biggest regret was in all of
Hmm.
this?
Um, mm, I'm honest. I know this is cliche and stuff. I know everyone says it, but like I really don't have any type of regret or regrets from any of this, um, because it's made me who I am today. Like it took me this long to get where I'm at, which I'm just getting started. Like just getting started. It just happened this year. Just getting started. We're doing much bigger things these upcoming years, but it took me that long because I wasn't the man that I needed to be to make it happen for this year. So going over that, over those last 6 to 7 years of not doing anything, not making it happen, I didn't deserve it to happen because I wasn't the man I needed to be when it came to relationships, when it came to business, when it came to my physique or my fitness, my health, my family, my friends. I wasn't the man I needed to be. I failed. So now I can learn from it over the years to now is all paying off.
What legacy do you hope to leave as a person, right? Like, what do you think that you want to be known as or remembered as after you die?
Hmm. Um, I don't really care, how successful people may seem I am, or how fit I look, or whatever, or how big I am with like muscles. I really just worry about not worry about. I just really want to leave an impression and a good legacy for my kids, so that they have a great upcoming, um, and be a motivating and give discipline to my kids so that they can be a better man and a better woman to other people and serve other people. Lead with God, lead with faith in that sense, because at the end of this, I don't care if I fail or succeed, because at the end of it, I go somewhere greater. And that's my kind of like my mindset on everything. When there's chances, when there is obstacles in the way, you do it. And if you don't succeed or fail, it doesn't really matter. But the legacy I want to leave is to know that I stood strong by my morals and values, that I was an honest man, that I was a stand up man, and I had integrity, and I was genuine, and I tried to serve and help other people.
What advice do you have for young people, generally about 18 to 25, when people are starting to try to get their lives together?
Hmm. I would say it just takes time, um, but the only way for it to happen down the road is for you to start today. Instead of trying to start next Monday or tomorrow, you wake up, like I said in the past, before, you look in the mirror and look at yourself. Do you look like you want to look? Does it make you happy? Do you feel confident in your skin? How is your mind up there? What are your thoughts thinking about? Is it always negative? Are you always talking bad about yourself? If so, there's ways to change that. There's ways to better yourself, going to the gym, praying to God, getting in the Bible, going on walks, becoming more, being more humble, uh, serving people, helping people, locking in and getting in better environments. So if you're 18 to 25 and you don't feel like you've done anything, that's okay. You have time. There's plenty of successful people that started when they were 30, 35, 40, and they did it. So if you're 18 to 25 and you're still thinking and caring about what other people are thinking about you, and you're living a life off of what your parents told you to do, or what your friends told you to do, or what society expects of you, then you will obviously fail. But if you switch your mindset, start understanding that this life is for you. God put you on this planet to do what you needed to do so that you can better yourself and become the best version of yourself for that particular purpose that God put you on this earth to be, so that you can be that best version of yourself, so that you can help other people and support other people and go through struggles, go through failures, so that down the road you can help other people that are going through the same struggles that you're going through. I think everyone is about what can what can I get out of this? What can I succeed? But now it's all about how can I help other people go through what I went through so they can get over the other side?
All right. I think that's a good place to end off.
Awesome, dude. I appreciate you doing this. And anytime you want to do another podcast interview, I'm here to help.
All right. Absolutely. I'll stop the recording. We'll talk after the show. All right.
Cool.
Any final words?
I would say, look, you might not know me, and I'm not seem like a guy that you might not be able to connect with, but I hope that I seem genuine, I seem honest, and that if you really listen to the words that I'm saying, I went through the same struggles and the obstacles that you might be going through right now. If you're willing to not quit, you're willing to go through the struggles and obstacles and look in the mirror and figure out what you need to be better at, it will all work out eventually. You just have to have a leap of faith, keep going, do not quit, and eventually it will happen.
All right. I'll stop the recording in 3, 2, 1.